Welcome to Wealth Coherence. I'm your host, Emily Bouchard, a social worker specializing in human development and fascinated by human potential. For over 20 years, I've been a coach to families with successful businesses and leaders with successful careers, and you may be surprised to learn that true wealth is about coherence. When our inner state of being aligns with how we live, give, lead, and love. In this series, we will explore an integrated model to flourish coherently, because wealth isn't what we have, it's who we are when we are fully aligned. Well, welcome to this very special episode of Wealth Coherence, where I am sitting with my father, who is going to be 91 in 4 days. And he has some wisdom that I was hoping to get to explore and share with him. And his name is Dr. Milton Finegold. I think that you still have quite a bit of wisdom to share in terms of what has contributed to a life that's well lived. You know, you don't have many regrets. You have lots of amazing things that have happened in your life that you feel really good about and proud about. And when it comes down to it, what do you think is it that contributes to a life well lived?
Well, good fortune.
Yes, we do attribute a lot to that.
Absolutely blessed. It started with the escape from Europe of the grandparents, and then living in an environment that was supportive throughout, whether it be Brooklyn Technical High School or Columbia College or Rochester Medical School. There were always people who were friends, supportive, interactive, positively, communities.
I think one of the things I remember the most about you is how, like, you lead with so much curiosity. I mean, I remember growing up as a child in New York City with you, and we would hail a cab because we had to get across town or something, and you would sit in the front seat. And the whole drive, I would listen to you asking the driver all kinds of questions because every driver was from a different country, had a different background, and you were always so fascinated.
I forgot all about that. Yeah.
Yeah, it was good. And you did a lot to make sure that my worldview was really expanded and not narrow in its focus in terms of the people around me, and to respect everyone that I'm around, and to really have that curiosity about who they are and what matters to them.
All of that is relevant to wherever you might be growing up and where you might be raised. But New York was special from the point of view of diversity and opportunity in every direction. So you got to be grateful for that, as well as the people whom you meet.
Yeah, for sure.
And I think a lot of people who came to New York, as the immigrant parents did, were open to meeting and learning. And that was an example that was already set.
For sure. And because this is a Wealth Coherence podcast, and I talk a lot about families and legacy and how to communicate in families, one of the things I'm finding that's quite remarkable about you compared to a lot of folks that I've been encountering is your insistence and desire for your 3 children, me and my 2 brothers, to know everything about your estate plan. I mean, just last night you handed me a paper that you're going to be giving to your attorney to update some things in your estate plan. And you wanted me to look at it first and see, did I have any questions? Was I comfortable with it? Was I okay with that? And that's actually kind of unusual. A lot of people don't want to share their plans with their children. So it'd be great to hear from you about why it's so obvious and why you would want the 3 of us to know what you're doing with your estate plan, the changes you're making, why you're making them. Because I think it's so valuable, and I encourage people to do it. But I'm wondering what it is that has you motivated to do that with us.
I can't imagine it being any other way. It may be the same part of what's making me unhappy these days, which we've shared during your visit here, is the opposite of that, which is what's making me happy is to take advantage of what I'm grateful for, which is you and your brothers, my grandchildren now, all of whom are very much interactive and free to say what's on their mind. And that is hugely beneficial, especially since they are caring and intelligent. You can't guarantee that you're going to have a child who's caring and intelligent. They could be affected in a way that hurts them.
So you need to assess the competencies of the kids,
Competencies and
the care, their depth of care,
and their availability, willingness to listen.
So in closing, just to bring it back around to your wisdom over 90 years of life, and the fact that you are still so competent and able to think thoughtfully about life and about the world and everything. What is it that you would want the younger generations, your grandchildren that are coming of age, like that, they're making their lives for themselves and they're going to be starting their families at some point. What is it that you would want these younger generations to be aware of or to know that is like the most important things that you recognize about living a great life and really having the sense of meaning and purpose that you have?
Well, I think there are two words that I use all the time. One is gratitude, which you've just taught me, and that's I've already talked about with the family surviving. The Nazis didn't kill us, and surviving under whatever the conditions were, financial and whatnot. Gratitude for the fact that we were well off. Could have been richer, but we could certainly were not poor people. We were.
And that's coming from somebody from like you had a one bedroom, you had your grandmother living with you, your mom, your dad, your
Those
sister,
were
like,
not
and that was like
regarded as deficiencies.
you were well off.
We were well off. And that was number one, is gratitude. And the other one, I think, is a sense of awareness.
It's interesting because when I think about everything you've shared, the main thing I get is this curiosity and engagement with life, deep gratitude for being alive and having the good fortune that you encounter, and being willing to learn. Like there's a lifelong learning aspect to you, and that you've just taken on so many things and wanted to learn about them, and what you learned in your college years you applied so successfully in your management skills. And I think that that's the main approach that I'm seeing is, if you're afraid, take it as an opportunity to learn. If you become aware of something that you weren't aware of and it becomes a part of your awareness, then what can I do towards shifting? So what can I learn that can make me a better person or have a better impact? And it seems like that's kind of the thread that's run through what you've just shared.
Absolutely. Yes. I'm very, very grateful to my daughter.
Thank you for this opportunity to have this conversation with you. Really appreciate it, Dad. Love you. Thank you for listening to this episode of Wealth Coherence. If it resonated, I'd love for you to share it or leave a review. This will help others find their way to this space. And if you're ready to keep exploring what it means to live, lead, and give from a place of coherence, head to emilybouchard.com to stay connected. Until next time, be well internally and allow your external life to be the fullest expression of who you truly are.